let me know what you think of the sound. Welcome back to the AAA MF YouTube channel. I have waited a long time to get my hands on the new Lamborghini Temerario. I'm a huge Lamborghini fan, and my most successful video on YouTube was a Lamborghini Countach 5000 QV, which had over 2 million views. We've also test driven the Revuelto, and I used to own a Huracán Performante Spider myself. So I'm very excited to see what this is like. Now, the big change over the Huracán is now this is a V8 twin turbo hybrid. The Huracán was a naturally aspirated V10. And this now has just over 900 brake horsepower. A ridiculous amount of power if you ask me, but obviously they want to compete with the Ferrari 296. The big question for me is it going to sound good now that they've got rid of the V10 engine? And is it going to be fun? Come and join us. So we've been driving the Temerario now for at least an hour, and we've gone through all the different modes. And the surprising thing is that even in the harsher setting and the louder setting, which is Corsa, there's no real noise. Nothing like a Performante. So when I used to own a Performante Spider, I would very rarely go into Corsa mode because it was so loud and the gear changes were violent. But it was very exciting when you did put it into Corsa mode. Typically, I would put it into sport mode, which was pretty good for driving most of the time. With this one, we're in Corsa mode now, and there's no real sound. And yes, I've now got glasses, which I have to wear when I'm driving, because I'm getting old. So the car, to me, feels a little bit more well built and better put together than a Ferrari 296. I guess because it's still got, you know, German DNA. And it does feel phenomenally fast. I mean, you cannot go up to 10,000 RPM on a public road. You just can't. You go up to 4,000 or 5,000 and you're breaking the speed limit. But the four-wheel drive makes it feel very compliant. The steering is nice and light though. It's lighter than a Performante, which is an improvement over that car. The car that we're driving is £310,000. And on the used market, the cheapest one I could find was £340,000. But this one doesn't have the lightweight package, which is about £40,000. My feeling is that given where Performante Spiders are going and where they've gone, which is up, that the Temerario is probably still too expensive for most people that want a baby Lamborghini. I'm not sure that I would want to spend £140,000 extra over a Performante for a car without any sound. But they have improved lots of aspects of the car. The lift goes up and down really, really quickly, which is fabulous. The steering, as I said, feels lighter. In most cars with four-wheel drive, you can feel their four-wheel drive. With this one, it doesn't feel like a four-wheel drive car, which is a great improvement over the last car. I keep comparing it to a Performante because that's the car I used to own. although I know this isn't the hardcore version of the Temerario. But with 900 brake horsepower, what could they possibly do next? I guess remove the four-wheel drive system, which is what they've done in the past, to make it lighter. And Ferrari brought out the 296, and then they brought out the 296 Speciale. But it is very hard to improve on a car that's already got this much performance. I thought before I filmed that I would be intimidated by the power, but I'm not. It's very usable. It's very accessible. I mean, I've just jumped in and I'm driving it quite hard. What I will say is this, and this is really important, I think. You end up just driving faster than you normally would in, say, for example, a Performante, because their sound is quieter and because it's easier to drive faster. So I'm driving faster than I would a Performante. And that's also partly to do with the fact that it just is easier to drive faster. And I think you get more thrills from this car from driving fast. Whereas in a Performante, it does go fast, but it's also that lovely V10 howl that you hear the whole time whilst you're driving that is entertaining in itself. I think it's such a shame that supercar manufacturers like Ferrari, like Lamborghini, don't do lighter, non-turbocharged cars. I know that for emission laws, they've moved in that direction, but I think 900 brake horsepower for a road car is just absurd. I think they should go more towards cars like the Alfa Romeo 4C, which weigh 1,100 kilograms, give the cars 300 or 400 brake horsepower and just make them fun to drive. Because at the end of the day, we drive these cars for the way they look, but also for the fun factor. And I don't think you can really enjoy this car on a public road. You really need to take it somewhere where there's no speed limits, like Germany, or take it on a racetrack where you can actually go up to 10,000 RPM. The Corsa mode in this is more violent than the other modes, but like I said, nothing like Performante in Corsa mode. I would say that the benefit for this car though is that it feels like an easier car to drive. But that's good and bad. It really depends what you want the car for. What do I think about the styling? I absolutely love it. I think that the rear of the car is much, much better than the front. The front looks like a lot of other supercars with the wedge shape, but the rear looks like nothing else on the road. The only downside is for people behind you, because that massive gap where the wheel is just going to throw up loads and loads of stones. And I remember being behind a Performante, my friend Andy's got one, and it throws up a lot of stones in the Performante, so you don't want to be behind this, especially on a motorway. So I think we've driven it enough now. I think we're gonna jump out, give you my final thoughts on the Lamborghini Temerario. I've spent quite a lot of time in the Lamborghini Temerario today, and so I'm going to sum up with some good points and bad points. The first point is the styling. I absolutely love it. I think it looks really aggressive from the front, but I think what the Lamborghini designers have done at the rear really makes it stand out in terms of supercars from 2026. Nothing looks like that from the rear. And dare I say, I think it's one of the best looking Lamborghinis from the rear, apart from maybe a Lamborghini Countach 5000 QV. In terms of suspension and power delivery, it's absolutely incredible. The suspension is really compliant for UK B roads. We've been driving around the countryside all morning and it doesn't bounce around like a lot of supercars do. A lot of supercars do have very hard suspension, like the GT4 RS, for example. This one has great compliant suspension. The power delivery with over 900 brake horsepower is very, very accessible. You should not be able to get into a car with 900 brake horsepower and drive it hard for the very first time, but I did with this car. That again, that's a good point and a bad point. In terms of the price, $310,000 for this car. I think in terms of new prices, it's not too expensive, but when you look on the used car market, it's very expensive because the closest rival I would say is the Ferrari 296, and they are now £200,000 on the used car market. I don't know where the 296 is going to go in terms of value, but right now in July 2026, 310 for this or a Ferrari 296, I know where my money would go, which means I think that this will slowly go down in price until they are kind of equal, and I think this is going to probably go down to 250 to 240 till it gets a lot more demand. There's already quite a few on the market for around £340,000. Now, I've driven the Revuelto on the channel before, and for me, when I jumped out of that car, I felt like I was in something special. I didn't miss the Aventador because the Revuelto still has that great sounding V12 engine. It still sounded fabulous and the gear changes were engaging. This one just feels like a very, very fast, accomplished supercar. It doesn't feel special in the way that Lamborghinis have in the past. That means that it might appeal to more people or to a different segment. But if you're buying a Lamborghini predominantly for sound, looks and performance, this is definitely missing one of those qualities. For me, I want a car that sounds good. I drove up today to film this car 2 hours from London and I drove in my M4 CSL. My M4 CSL felt more special than this and it was louder than this. Now, partly to do with the fact that the M4 CSL is only rear wheel drive, but the M4 CSL is a straight 6 engine. This is a V8. This should sound better than my M4 CSL, and it doesn't. The M4 CSL also took me 3 or 4 months to kind of get comfortable putting the power down. Again, rear wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, but this has 900 brake horsepower. This should be a bit scary to drive, and it's not. So, in conclusion, I love the styling, I love the performance, I love the suspension, and it's an easier car to drive. But in terms of what you can get for your money in today's market, I would buy a Ferrari 296 over this, and I would also buy a Lamborghini Huracán Performante over this because they're still around £200,000 to £210,000. Granted, this is much more accessible to use every day than a Performante. But if you want a Lamborghini in your garage to use at weekends, special occasions, I think a Performante is still a winner for me. It looks fantastic and that V10 will never ever be matched. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one.